Hey guys, welcome to Home Free Family. This week I'm going to show you how to do a stencil on a wall. I'm Sarah and this is Travis. We've moved 7 times in the last 6 years and are currently renovating our 3rd house with our 3 boys and our Old English sheepdog. Follow along as we renovate our house and raise our boys. That's him. Subscribe and join us on our next adventure. So I'm wanting to add a little bit to this room. We have this white trim all the way around, and I was originally thinking that I would do the Joanna Gaines removable wallpaper on there. Since I'm doing all 3 walls, I felt like it would be a little bit too much. And I also read some reviews that said that it didn't stick very well. That wasn't the case all the time, but if I was going to spend a couple $100, I wanted to be sure that it was going to look good and stay on. And so while I was looking at different options, I found this stencil that's a really similar pattern to the Joanna Gaines removable wallpaper. So I got this. This was like $12, and I'm just going to put it up here, stencil it up. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that my projects usually go something like this. Oh my gosh! So far so good. It looks like it's gonna hold. Okay, so good news is the drill is all set up right. It is actually user error.
Then you take these and clip them wherever.
So hopefully this one goes smoothly. The main concern I have with this stencil is that there's a big space right here that if I just put it on, paint it, move it over, there's a big gap between the pattern and it makes it look like it was done with a stencil. So I don't feel like I could cut straight enough, or and I'm worried that it would break some of this pattern. So my plan is to put it up, paint it, take it off, and then use a hairdryer to dry one edge of it. And then I'll set this back up real close, maybe even overlapping, and do the next one. So I've never done a stencil before, so if you have a better idea of how this can be done, put it in the comments so I can know for next time. Okay, so I got this all set up. I have the stencil taped up in place. One thing with stencils is you want to use the least amount of paint possible so it doesn't bleed underneath the stencil, and so it keeps your shapes all clear. Okay.
Why are you painting it?
Shoot. I need to take this
Why?
on all sides because it's moving. And you're going to want to tape all sides of the stencil to keep it really firmly in place while you paint. One of the best things about this stencil is how forgiving it is. If you make a mistake, you can just fix it with paint, or worst case scenario, you can always just paint over it with white and start again. Bless you. He's not biting you.
I'm biting on the book.
So I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. As I finished this wall, when I got towards the end of it, I realized that some of the dots on the pattern weren't painting anymore. And I realized as I looked at my stencil that it had built up, I don't know if you can see this, it had built up like a little film around all of the cutouts. So if you're doing a lot of stenciling like I am, you may want to stop and clean this off every once in a while. Because like I said, it was making it so that the smaller parts of the stencil the paint wasn't getting through. So just a heads up. So if you can help it at all, you do not want to let your stencil slide across the paint when you take it off like I just did. I'll just touch that up with some white paint and you'll never be able to tell. Okay, I wanted to show you guys where I got. So those two walls are all done. Right there in that corner, my stencil doesn't fit, and also here on this side, the stencil, a full stencil doesn't fit. When I ordered this stencil, I had one come broken. There was a piece broken out of it, and so I will use that one. I'll cut it in half or whatever, cut the side off so it fits in those spaces. And that's how I'll do that. And then I'm gonna need to do above the door with a smaller piece of stencil also. And then I wanted to show you guys on this wall, I showed you guys before that this stencil gets like the little parts of it covered in paint. And so on this wall, the dots didn't show up on the stencil where, you can see over here, there's lots of little dots. So I'm just gonna take a small paintbrush and paint those dots in. I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. So I don't know if you noticed when I was doing this painting before, but I was kind of in a hurry when I did this wall, and so rather than measure like I did with this wall over here, I tried to eyeball the distances between these 3 rows. And I accidentally left too big of a gap here and too small of a gap here. It's kind of hard to see in the video and in the pictures, but in person it was really noticeable. Okay, come here, do you want to be in my video with me? So my solution was to hang a big mirror here and cover it up, but Travis said that wasn't okay. So his solution was to extend these leaves and stems here and kind of fill in the gap that way. And so that's what I did. And I think that it worked. I might go ahead and extend them just a little bit further, but so far I think it looks good. And then just one little tip, if you do have to fix stuff like I did, I tried a couple different paintbrushes, and what I found worked the best is to use the back end of a small paintbrush. For doing the dots, that worked especially well, and then also even just for extending the stems and the leaves, to use the back end of the paintbrush worked the very best. Okay, I cut the stencil and put it up there, and I'm going to get that part painted. It was really easy. I just put the stencil up and pushed it into the corner, and then I took a pen and marked right down along this corner, and then just cut it with some scissors, and we have like ridiculously dull scissors, and it cut right through it. I got those corners done, and then I have that last piece taped up there. I just cut the top off one of my stencils, so almost finished. And then I'm gonna have to do a little bit of touch up. Some of the stems didn't get painted on and some of the dots are missing, so I'll just go back through with the end of my paintbrush and finish it up. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about the stencil, just leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them the best I can. We'll see you next week.